They say there's a learning curve to everything new. Thanks to the absolute disaster that was the setup from start to finish, I now have a lot of new material to work with. But the most important thing I learned while editing this video is that I am, in fact, going bald. Hi, I'm Ria, and New Year's is just around the corner, waiting for the fresh new start. This next year though, I won't be using separate journals for my book and reading journal, since I have only the one old sketchbook to work in, a moleskin that I bought literally years ago. I'm just going to have to make it all fit. A lot of the time when I have a blank cover to work with, like on the back of this one, I tend to just cover it with something artsy or whimsical. Unfortunately, I forgot to film the part where I glued on the gold leaf and painted the grass, but the rest is all here. I wanted to give the idea of a moonlit field, but I also love clouds, so I did both. The paint I'm using is regular craft acrylic from Genuine Heritage. Again, old stock, but I like the idea of using what you have instead of buying lots of new things that just sit on a shelf. Doesn't mean I don't want new things, just, we make do. The gold leaf isn't real gold. Again, I don't remember the make because I bought it years ago, but it's the regular kind of thing you can find in an art store. The glue is Winsor & Newton if I'm not mistaken. I'm still not very good at doing gold leaf. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I tried dabbing some glue in some areas instead of spreading it equally to try and create the shadow on the moon. It didn't go so well, but at least I tried. The cat stickers were a gift, and I don't actually know who made them, but I think they were originally intended to decorate walls. Obviously, I like to do my own thing. I'm not particularly fond of the inside of the book, so I thought I'd do my own cover page right over it. I usually reserve the inside cover of the book for year at a glance and some planning space, but I thought since I'm low on pages, I'd combine the two instead. The little calendars that I'm using almost completely cover the image I want for the cover spread, so I decided to make it a secret glance. Each little calendar will be hidden behind a little door, and the numbers will be set up like ornate paper door handles while marking the month of the year all at the same time. I think it's cute, and it works with the space, so why not? I tried close cropping the numbers individually, but it's not that easy to do with scissors this big. They then go onto individual shiny gold blocks that was cut from a much larger piece of craft paper from the W&M range. After that, I pasted them onto a large piece of black Milky Pen paper and then cut them all out individually again. These craft scissors are something I've had since childhood, and I love the ornate lace-like cut they give. Since the theme for this setup is inspired by the idea of a picturesque France, I thought it was a fitting touch to add. So this picture and the others that I'll be using in the setup were all on one big piece of decoupage paper that I got for Christmas last year. I didn't get to use it in 2025, but now I do, and I've been looking forward to using it all year. In order to fit everything on here, I marked out the space that each individual calendar will take, and then I pasted them onto the back of this picture. When that was done, I made cuts around them that then turned them into the doors that I wanted. This paper is kind of glossy, and I'm more of a matte girly, but it's good quality paper. It's thick and sturdy, but it still tears easily enough where I need it to. And no, it's not perforated. So as you can see, each calendar is now behind a door of its own. Before anything else, I wanted to do two things. One, I wanted to cover the whole book with plastic wrap to stop the back cover from getting damaged. That was a whole debacle on its own. Then I needed to finish up my tip-in year planner. Basically, it's just where I make notes of public holidays, anniversaries, birthdays, chores, and long-term plans for events. I mark each of those additionally with a specific color on the calendars themselves. Since most of my regular fine liners are done, I used my Copics to add the headings to each section of the tip-in. The gold floral paper you see me using here is also from a set of craft papers that was gifted to me last December. I'm measuring out where everything goes so that I don't waste anything. The floral paper is gorgeous, but the glitter tends to stick to your fingers, which is mildly annoying at first, but it actually becomes really irritating later on. The torn text paper that you see me using is actually from a copy of Hunger Games. I was given a copy a few years ago, but I already had one of my own and I felt so bad throwing it away, so I decided to use it for my journals instead. I'll be combining it with the lace cut black paper to create the border effect I want. Pasting this hole to do in was easy enough. I just spread the liquid glue around with a cotton ear pipe and flipped it in. I pulled up all of the calendars to stop them from sticking down incorrectly as the glue spread while I was pressing down, just in case, and waited for the glue to dry a little. Then pasted down the backs of the calendars, added the little ornate numbers, and we were good to go. As the glue was drying on them, I put on some clips to hold them down properly so that they didn't end up buckling. That's the one big downside of using liquid glue. It always makes paper wobbly. By the way, just in case you notice the screen tilts slightly every now and again, my phone is possessed. It moves on its own. I have no control. I decided to use my white Jelly Roll pen to make some dots on the black paper because I thought it would just add more of a lacy feel overall. Finally comes the grand number itself. When all the glue dried, it was finally time to move over to the memory pages. I know most people don't like that awkward second page in their journals, but I do, because as you can see, if it's folded back just right, it creates a waterfall effect without actually having to cut anything out. I repeated the same overlapping theme as on the main page, but I wanted the center of these pages to be open, obviously for pictures and stuff. So I went for a pillared effect this time. To the left you can see a whole bag full of dried plants, some of which I'll be using in this setup, like the leaves on the cover page and the purple flowers on these memory pages. The large piece of paper with a cozy French floral pattern on it was actually an old paper bag that we had lying around the house, and I decided it would be a perfect fit with this theme, so I took it and made it mine. I love the little bird cage with the one bird flying away. The whole composition on that paper bag is just precious. Next, we're going into my bingo board and skills day page. I decided to use the same gold blocked border on these pages as I put on my tipping planner earlier because I absolutely love the shine on that gold. I still added the lace and novel combo border as well as at least one image from both the decoupage paper and the paper bag. But what I'm doing different this year is that instead of a regular bingo board, I thought I'd try some bingo bubbles. So I drew a bunch of dash line circles with light and dark gray Staedtler fine liners in which I'd write my want-to-dos for the year. This is probably the point at which I should mention that I generally don't make goals pages because I can never stick to them. I tend not to plan most things more than a day or two, maybe 3 ahead of time. The year in pixels that I'm putting in next to my bingo bubbles is to see how many days of the year I spend trying to hone or learn skills. It's the same format that I use for my productivity trackers, but the goal is different. Finally, I added a thin red washi tape on the right side. I just think it adds, a final touch. Of course, I also had to go back in and add the white dots for the lace effect. When that was done, I went ahead and cut the Dutch doors for my productivity trackers. I have 6 that I will be using this coming year, 1 for work, chores, skills, self-care, leisure, and social each. And the point of these, for those who aren't familiar with this sort of tracker, is to measure your productivity level in a specific area, as the name suggests. For me, that's not just in terms of time spent on something, but whether or not I actually produced something with the time I spent on that thing. Did I just spend time practicing one of my skills, or did I add something new to my repertoire? Did I only message that friend I haven't seen in a long time, or did we go out for a coffee together? How long did I work today, and how much of what I wanted to do did I get done? That sort of thing. And I like doing this in a year in pixels format because it lets me see where I've improved my approaches, use of time, and overall productivity throughout the year. And that motivates me more, so two large folded pieces of paper that I'm pasting in on the first and last page are two different sets of task lists that need doing throughout the year. I use it to remind myself of household maintenance when it needs doing, and then I mark it off as I've done them. I put them here so that they're next to my chores productivity tracker. That way, and I know this does happen, but if I know there's something I needed to do but I can't remember what, I can just throw a quick glance that way. On the bottom left hand corner, I'm adding a monthly productivity tracker so that I can keep track on a month-to-month basis and see on a much broader spectrum where I need improving. Then it's on to the yearly stats pages. Not much decorating here since I need most of the space for graphs and charts. My journal at this particular point is very tracker orientated, mostly because I'm trying to get myself out of a slump, and the trackers are really just helping figure out which way is up and which is down at this point. I know a lot of people find trackers a little tiresome, but I still need them, so please have patience with me if that's not your thing. Anyway, on these pages I decided to cut a shape around the golden blocks, at least partially, so that they create a spiked effect over the red washi tape. I ended up finishing that tape on the setup, which is a pity because I really liked it. It's almost a faded maroonish color with a purple-grey writing on it that says, "Be still and know that I am God." I liked using it as a supporting feature anyway, so it's sad. I'm adding more dried flowers to this one, red malphas from our garden. I don't know if I was Christmas inspired or what, but there's definitely a subtle red gold theme going on here. You can't see it on the video, but the dried leaves on the cover page are, if I'm not mistaken, tiny red poinsettia leaves, red. Now the red malphas, and later I'll make tabs for the productivity trackers from tiny printouts of a picture I took years ago of Stink Afrikaner, or African marigold. The upper part of the marigold's petals is a bright vermilion, and the bottom part is a golden yellow. I'll post the original picture when I'm doing the tabs, that way you can see what I mean. It's one of my favorite flowers. So red and gold definitely be theming right now. This next setup is the epitome of what it was like filming this whole thing. You need to understand, I was able to edit out most of the visual mistakes and female boldness, and you wouldn't see the technological malfunctions. But this one, even I couldn't fix without damaging the book. So it'll just have to do. These are my Screen Junkie pages for quick reviews of movies and series that I watched throughout the year. Right here, as I'm finishing up the white dots on the lace border, see what I did? I turned the journal upside down and forgot to turn it the right side up again, meaning I did the rest of this entire spread the wrong way around. Yay me, I literally couldn't fix it without tearing the pages, but that's okay. I still like how it turned out. I especially like the individual gold blocks that I added separately. It just gives it a magic feel. Movie magic. Now for my next mistake. Thankfully I was able to fix this one, though I didn't realize I had made it until I was done filming, so you're not going to see me fix it, but I promise it's right now. I spelled junkie wrong, and when I was done doing that, I finally realized my first mistake. This was not a tech malfunction, it was literally my last brain cell dying. All the other column style setups that I'd done so far, I had made as a border on the page edges. For this one, I wanted the decoration down the middle. I love it, but it's not something I'd recommend doing often because it can seriously bulk up your journal and damage the spine if it's done too much. So far, I had mostly used plants and other ornamentation type things from the paper bag, yet I've really been wanting to use these beautiful stamps that it has as well. Now I finally got my chance. Moving on to the final setup. This was mostly about decoration as the functional part, the back pocket, is already in place. I just wanted to cover that grey map. So I decided to decorate over the entire area using the same elements that I've been using throughout, and then you'll see me cut open the mouth of the pocket. That way the pocket is hidden like the year at a glance calendars, but it's also still fully functional. At some point through all this, I had to start standing constantly because the seat at my desk was stolen by a form of grumpy cuteness called mice, or mouse in English. Obviously not a real one. This is one of my many, many cats. When all of that was done, I finally went back to do the tags on the productivity trackers, and this is the flower I was talking about. After another fixable mistake, all is right in the world again, and then all that's left is the final flip through. I hope you really enjoyed going through the setup with me and that it gave you some ideas for your journal. Let me know in the comments below which of these spreads was your favorite. If you want to know more about my channel and what we do here, please feel free to check out the introduction video to my channel. It's less than 2 minutes long. If you feel this is the right kind of place for you, give that subscribe button a click, ring the bell for notifications, and leave a like. I hope to see you again soon. Bye!